Well, Asante Sana for keeping it Y in the morning right here on Y254. It is such a pleasure coming your way every single weekday from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. Shiko Kaitani is my name, teaming up with Val, Barry, Moses, Hilda, and of course our newbie in the house, Shiko Cosmos. Well, remember, we want to hear from you every single morning. Our message or text number rather is at the bottom of your screen. If you prefer to send in a regular text, well, 22162 is that SMS number. Please don't forget to leave your name and of course tell us where you are watching from. Now, every Tuesday it's all about career and entrepreneurship talk, and every week we like to bring you practitioners from different fields just to give us a feel, an idea of what it's like to be in a particular career path. But today we are taking career development to a whole new level. It's with a twist, and in studio with me is marketer Carol Masharia, career advisor Lucy Mutungi, who are from the corporate staffing services, to tell us more about what the recruitment process is like and what you and I can keep in mind as we approach the job market. If you're looking for a job, you definitely need to stay tuned. So let me say, karibuni sana, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, Carol Masharia and of course Lucy Mutungi. Now, I think I'm going to start off with you, Carol. What does the corporate staffing services do for its clients?
Okay. Thank you, Shiko.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here. Corporate Staffing Services is an SME.
Yes.
Run by about 15 members of staff. And we work for our clients.
Yes.
The hassle of recruitment can be a lot. So we come in to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
So they come to us with their recruitment needs, and we fill in the gap for them by linking them up with the right job candidates for the right jobs. Yes.
Okay, and how is it so far? Like, are you getting a lot of corporates who would rather outsource your company to do the process for you?
In fact, looking at it now, it's like the way to go for companies, because a lot of HR managers will struggle finding the right talent. But for us, because we've been in the business for so long, we've been there for 7 years, we know where to find the right people. We know how to talk to them so that they take up the offer that we have on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucy, tell me, so what is this talk that young people always say, hakuna kazi? And it seems like your company is, I mean, let me not say overwhelmed, but you've got clients who are these people trying to recruit.
Yes.
And then here you are as the middleman, and we say that there are no jobs.
I wouldn't say that there are no jobs.
Yes.
The problem comes when there's a mismatch between probably what employees are looking for and what the employer expects. So sometimes the employer will want certain things, like very specific. For instance, you might want someone who has IT experience but has worked in hospitality. How many young people have done that? So you see, sometimes the challenge is actually the jobs out there. Probably what we study in our Kenyan system doesn't prepare us for the market out there. So there's a mismatch. That I would say is the first thing. Then in terms of jobs being there, they are there, but also the people applying for them are so many. You might find one job, like 200 people applying for the same job, and you can't take all of them.
Right.
So that's now also a challenge.
So you have a very cutthroat process as to how you are able to select candidates to go forth for their interviews.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the recruiting process. If maybe you can tell us, in general, what do potential employers look for when they're recruiting? Like, what's the number one thing that these people tell you that you find that's so common from client to client to client?
They have that the candidate has to match the job specifications. Like for instance, if an NGO comes to us and they say they prefer someone with an NGO background, that for them is very key. Even when it comes to like manufacturing industries, most of the time, and I know it's unfortunate because most of the time they want someone who has already maybe 3 years experience, and yet we still have these fresh graduates. Where are they going to get this experience from? So it's a catch-22 situation.
Yeah.
So that's also now one of the issues that we have to face. But one of the key things are, would this person be a good fit for our organization? How will they fit into our culture?
Yeah.
You know, like now we have these young people who are fresh from school. Most of them want to work on flexi time, and then we have people. I mean, some of our organizations, we do things old school.
Yes.
You're expected to come at 8 and to work until 5.
Yeah.
They don't care about whether you came at 6.
It's so true.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the solution, especially, or how do you advise, especially fresh out of campus students? Because that's like you said, it's one of the challenges that you have, because someone doesn't have experience.
Yes.
If I came to you and I just graduated, what would you do in my particular situation?
My advice would be that people take internship lightly.
Yeah.
But internship is a great place to start, because it equips you with the basics, the skills that you need to use as you go into the job market. Also, volunteering is also another great thing.
Yeah.
As you're waiting probably to graduate, take up a role. It could be in church, it could be in your mom's company or whichever. It's always do something. Don't sit at home waiting to get that well-paying job. Give up. There's so much to learn out there.
Right.
And like, even from experience, internship will get you the next job.
And what about internship? Because we also do have quite a number of young people who say even internship is probably even harder than getting a job. So, so for in cases of internship, do you advise on that?
Yes, we do. And this brings me into networking.
Okay. Yeah.
Because opportunities are out there.
Yeah.
You just have to go out and find them.
Yeah.
So as you go out and meet people, you definitely learn something that will give you that opportunity to learn and sharpen your skills in the job market. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can add on to her networking. This is actually a fact in the Kenyan market.
Yeah.
We have only more than 50% of jobs or internships are not advertised. What is advertised is 15%. That's both in the media and also on the job sites. So networking is very, very key.
But is it really fair though? Is it really fair?
No, of course not. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. But that's just the way the market is.
Because you see, for me, as I'm asking these questions, I'm looking at it as someone who, by the way, doesn't have any networks, just finished school. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Shiko, I would like to correct you. Why did you say you don't have networks? I'm not saying Shiko as the media personality.
No, but
I'm saying like even in church, when you go to church, the people in church, you never know. You don't be that person who goes to church after the service, you have just disappeared. Get to know what people are doing.
That would be me. I don't have time for talk after church, but anyway. Yeah.
Some networks you form from very basic engagements. It could be even maybe your lecturer. Bag your lecturer.
Yeah. Then
He'll introduce you to so and so, and if he remembers you for something, he'll recommend you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Lucy, I know there's many aspects to career development, but let's focus on CVs. I know that it's curriculum vitae. Yeah. One of the most wrongly pronounced words is vitae, because a lot of people say curriculum vitae. No, they say vitae actually, but it's vitae.
Yes.
It's vitae actually, so it's the other way around. So vitae. Now, what's the difference between a CV and a resume?
Okay. A CV and a resume, for me, the difference comes in the layout.
Yeah.
For a resume, you just need to list your skills and experiences.
Okay.
It can be one page. But a CV is a document that gives a picture of who you are professionally, your educational background, your key achievements, and also it gives a summary of your key skills and competencies. So that one could be about 4 to 5 pages. It's more detailed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more, let's say it's like your picture of your career.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and from your experience, do you feel that young people see the need or the importance of having a well-written CV?
Luckily, we are heading in the right direction.
Yes.
Because even for us as corporate staffing, we have so many requests in a day.
Yeah.
We have people coming to us telling us they want to have a well-written CV, because it's often the first step it's the first means of creating an impression towards a potential employer. So if your CV does not fully represent who you are, then really you're limiting your opportunities. So the youth are appreciating a well-written CV. Yes, and we are ready to help them out. And we do it for them.
What are some of the common mistakes that you see on CVs today? Because I know, you know, it doesn't even sound like it's an issue. Probably when someone is wondering, why are you even wasting time talking about this? But you know, these are small things that we overlook as people. Be like, whatever, it's just my CV. But you tell me.
First and foremost, is it easy to read? Remember, a HR recruiter will be going through so many CVs, and they will not spend more than 1 minute going through your CV.
Wow.
So if it's all over the place, you know, you'll just be on to the next one, unfortunately. So number one, it should be easy to read. Number two, it should be error-free. In this day and age, surely you can use the spelling and grammar to do your checking. So it should be error-free and also make sense grammatically. And also it should be, the third thing I would say, don't just say, there's one term people like saying, I'm an enthusiastic team player. But you don't back up. You don't back that up with saying, probably maybe you were in a sales position. So you'd say, I was able to raise sales from 5 million to 20 million shillings. So that's very important. Also so back up.
So you must back up your statement. When you say, I am this, I am this, you must show an example of what you have done. Okay, to back that up. Okay. I want to also talk about, because I'm very passionate about this, and I've seen this even just having been, you know, in that position where you get a chance to review CVs. What about the appearance of CVs? For me personally, it has bothered me about, for example, something simple like an email address. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before. I find it very interesting that even young people would be daring enough to write something like Jose Yulemse at yahoo.com.
Or Sexy254.
I know, I mean, it's like Rachel Sweetie at yahoo.com. And you want a job. How does that make you feel? I don't take them seriously. I'm like, why would your email address be Rachel Kaswiti at yahoo.com? You know? At Yulemse. So are those some of the things that you come across?
Yes, they are.
Yes, we do. A lot.
So for me, my advice for the youth would be have two separate accounts. Have your personal one with your Sexy254, and then have now the one you use specifically for job search.
Too sexy, too sexy 254.
So if they really have to have it, let them have two separate ones.
Okay, I like that. So we do have a couple of examples of wrongly written CVs and correctly written CVs, according to our experts here on set. And I think my producer is ready with some of the samples that you came with today. I think it's very important that we look at them and just, you know, kind of weigh. So what's this?
This is the unrefined one.
Okay. So this is Daniel Wambua Musyoki. Okay, this is just a name you came up with. So, no pun intended if there is a Daniel Wambua watching. This is not your CV. All right, so what's wrong with this CV?
Just look at it.
I'm looking at it. What is it? It's too basic? What's wrong with it?
Even the spacing, the font, the format. The format itself is very unappealing. So just you can continue to go down.
It looks like a sad note from your landlord, like how Jolly parent.
Because now when he even talks about financial accounting, we don't know what he knows in financial accounting. He hasn't gone an extra mile to tell us what more. Okay, so it's very basic. Number one, it doesn't have any color information,
any information, so it's too brief. That brings me to my next question. On average, how long or how many pages should a CV be?
For me, I would say 3 to 4 pages.
Okay.
Yes, that that depends also on your experience. Of course, professors, maybe we give them up to 6 to 8 pages because of all their publications, all the things they've done. But for us normal people, I would say 3 to 4 pages. It's able to capture everything. Like you'll see in the next CV that we will be presenting, you'll see now what the kind of information we capture.
Okay, do we have the, let's get the correct CV format up on the screen, and then we can actually assess that. We have a well-written CV there. Okay, yeah, that does look appealing to the eye. So that's Arthur Atieli. So yeah, look at that. The email address is just perfect. You know how I feel about those email addresses. So you have a summary.
Yes.
Tell us about this format that in general someone needs to look out for, like when they are writing their CV. I should have a summary, number one.
Then your personal details. Here we just include the year of birth. We don't even say marital status. We don't include religion. We just think the year is important. Then we go to educational background. Then we have the professional qualifications. Depending on your profession, there are certain qualifications that some people need to undertake courses. So now for this guy, he is an IT guy.
We can scroll up.
Then now we come to the key skills and competencies. These are the key things that you have done. So okay.
Let's continue scrolling. We've got key skills and competence acquired.
Yes. This is during now your working experience. Yes. So there are things that you've actually done, not that we come up with them.
I think we should continue scrolling so we can see if we can get to the bottom of the page. So I think also another challenge, even for me, that I've faced in the past is trying to condense the information to be just right. What would you say, Carol, to that? What tips would you give in terms of that?
Okay, I'll advise someone to avoid being too wordy. There are some things you can bring out, specifically achievements, without being too wordy. Don't use long paragraphs of what you've achieved. Like a good place would be the use of numbers. If you're a salesperson, if you are able to achieve like 50% growth, you don't need to put in a lot of details because the numbers on their own speak for themselves.
That's the last page that also has things like key achievements. So is this extracurricular stuff that someone can actually add on, or what is key achievements?
Key achievements are the things you've been able to accomplish in your current role or in a previous role you were at before maybe you joined your current role. But for recent graduates, it's something for them. Key achievements could be extracurricular activities because now they haven't gotten a taste of the job market. So then they're being judged based on what probably they did in campus. So for them it's okay to include that.
So irrelevant information definitely out. Like you said, not being too wordy. I also find that some people still include things like details about their high school or their primary. Is that really necessary? Because the assumption is if I got a diploma, I got a degree, of course I went to high school. So
it's really not necessary. But like she said, if you're a fresh graduate,
that's important.
That's important. But
really? So if I'm a fresh graduate, I should include high school.
Because you may also want to show that you're a bright student. So if you scored those A's, there is no harm putting it there. But as you advance career-wise, then really you don't need them there.
All right, so we've checked out a few samples of those CVs. A good question here is, how often should one update their CV? And me being a culprit also, because the last time I updated mine, goodness,
I think twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, after every 6 months, because in 6 months you can get a lot done. You can start projects and complete projects in those 6 months. You can change jobs in 6 months. So for me, twice a year. So in June and December, you should sit down and say, okay, from January to June, what have I done?
So no starehe too much in December. We update those CVs.
I tend to disagree. I think you should update as soon as you have a key achievement, something worth putting in your CV. Don't wait to have someone ask for your CV and then is when you're trying to remember, oh, I did this, I did this. So just as soon as you have some worthwhile achievement or something that you think will give you mileage,
Yes.
then put it in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I like that. So
Yeah.
we should always keep that in mind that
Yeah.
you know, on a regular basis, always
Yes.
keep checking, okay, what can I add, you
Yes.
know, to make this even better. Okay, so is it true that someone should alter their CV depending on the intended job they're applying for? So for example, if I want to be a social media consultant and I want to do communication, both those CVs should be different?
Separate, yes.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of work. So when do I start?
It may sound like a lot of work, but look at what the benefits that will come from that.
Yes.
Because you want to, if you're looking for a job in social media, for example,
Yeah.
you want to really bring out your strengths in the role that you're applying for. Actually, we recommend that you look at the JD as you look at your CV and edit them hand in hand, so that you make sure that you're bringing out your ability to bring value as per what the JD states,
Yeah.
or the job description. Shouldn't assume everybody knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bring out what the JD is looking for in
Yes.
your CV.
Yes.
Yes.
But you know, there's this common thing, and let's be real about how sometimes we get work or you get that opportunity for an interview. Someone tells you, hey, niaje maze, nitumie CV yako, kuna opening hapa. So in such a situation, it's safe to just send your generic one, or I don't know. Should you never ever, first of all, send in a CV without knowing what you're applying for?
Yes.
Because it already automatically cuts you off, or?
True.
Oh.
It's important to know what you're applying for first and foremost.
Yeah.
This gives you a better understanding of what the expectations from
Yeah.
probably your would-be employer is. And then also it stops you getting false hope
Yeah.
and getting disappointed.
Yes.
Because by looking at what the employer is expecting, you'd be like, okay, this one I can't do. So there's no point.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But what I've found with Kenyans, we send like job applications
Yes.
like in a day, maybe 20 using the same CV.
Wow.
And they're different fields.
So you, even for you guys, when you encourage people to send in their CVs, you
Yes.
actually see the same CV
Exactly. Yeah.
being used for job A, application B,
Yes.
C, D, and you're like, what is this guy doing?
Exactly.
Yes.
Like he doesn't know what he wants.
That must be hilarious. Okay, so that is one of the mistakes that we tend to do. We just send out a generic CV for
Yes.
all applications, and we think it's a template, and that is absolutely wrong. You
Exactly.
must do your research to know
Yes.
what that opening is all about.
True.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I like that. Now, let's get over to the point of going in for the interview as a young person. I know Shiko is on standby to sample some of our WhatsApp messages from our viewers asking you guys some questions. But as Shiko gets ready for that, let's talk about some of the things that young people don't keep in mind when, you know, heading towards an interview.
For me, I would say there are 4 things.
Yeah.
First and foremost is how are they presenting themselves?
Okay.
How are they dressed? Even as they come to their interview room, how are they carrying their documents? Some people just come, no offense, but they come with the A4 old envelopes
Yes.
and they just remove for you papers and, you know, carry them in a folder, let them be neat.
Yes.
Even as you're presenting them to the recruiter, someone can see this person is organized.
Yes.
Then secondly, in presentation, for ladies, sometimes too much makeup.
Too much makeup.
Yes.
Wow.
Is a distraction even to the person who is doing the interview.
Because they are distracted by your beauty, or what is the situation here?
wondering.
You know, we need to know what is it? Bad distraction, good distraction.
Most of the time it's bad because when it's too much makeup, it means maybe, okay, of course if it's professionally done,
Yes.
that won't be an issue.
Right.
But maybe you've come with very bright colors
Yeah.
to the interview and someone is trying to focus on the message you're giving, but they're like,
But here you are with
Yes.
your crazy eyebrows.
like uyaliamka asubuhi na katu. Yeah. So basically that, and also when it comes to attire, we tend to be, it depends. NGOs, I know them, they're not so keen on formal attire.
Yes.
So also make sure, the second thing is to research on the company where probably you've been called for an interview.
Yeah.
Then based on that, also dressing will assist you. Of course, if it's a government office, you go officially dressed in conservative colors.
Yes.
If it's an NGO, you can be casual smart.
Yes.
So it also helps to know what the company does. One of the funny things you'll find is someone has come for an interview and you ask them about now the company where they have applied for the job, and they don't know anything. They don't know the goods or the services that so research on the company.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's the least you can do.
Yes.
When you're walking into a building, at least you know where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the third thing would be generalization. When you're asked a question, you give monosyllabic answers.
Yes.
What they don't get is people want, recruiters want details. They want to be able to see that you can actually do this job that you have applied for. So don't be asked that tell us a time, maybe you were in a team and you led it. Then you say, I was in a team of 10 people and I led them to success. How did you do it? What are some of the challenges you faced? Those are some of the things that we like to hear.
Yes.
And then
Lucy, you're cracking me up today, but it's so true. I mean, it sounds just hilarious.
yes, it is.
Okay.
They're very simple, but people forget.
So these are the small things that can
Yes,
actually cost you from getting a job.
And timekeeping.
And timekeeping.
Yes, timekeeping is key.
Yeah.
Very key.
So just because we are all Kenyans,
Yes.
not me now, you'll be like, I can just get there 5 minutes later.
No, timekeeping. I mean, if you're gonna be late, it's only polite to let the person who called you for the interview know. I'll probably be maybe 15 minutes late. Or if you're not able to make it for the interview on that day, a phone call or an email asking you to reschedule, not keeping the person pending and waiting for you.
Yes.
You know, even recruiters are human beings. They're like, this person has wasted my time. Why should I give them a second chance?
Very good point.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna head over to our WhatsApp line and check out what some of our viewers are saying. Please remember to leave your name and of course let us know where you are watching us from. If you do have a question for Carol or for Lucy concerning career development, what you need to know even as you head towards the job market. Shiko Cosmos is on set with us. How you doing, darling?
I'm fine.
Karibu sana. So, what are they saying on WhatsApp?
First of all, let me thank my ladies here at the show. It's quite an inspiration and a wake-up call.
Yes.
And I think shikokaswiti@gmail.com.
Hata wewe unakaa mtu wa kuandika shikokaswiti@gmail.
They have to know. People are talking here. There's someone who is asking, how can I get that CV format? And she continues, I don't know if it's a she or a he. How can I get that correctly formatted CV?
All right. Carol, maybe you want to answer
Yes,
that?
they can send us an email
Yeah.
to cvwriting at corporatestaffing.co.ke.
Yeah.
So we will review that and send them feedback on what they can change. And if they want us to do it for them, then we will.
So I'm assuming if you're asking people to send in their CVs, it is at a fee.
The review, we do it for free.
Okay.
There's some CVs that actually don't need work.
Yeah.
We just tell you, just change this to that. But there are some that need work.
So for those we charge.
From the beginning to the end.
Yes.
And so how much on average would you be charging to actually review a CV or actually rewrite a CV?
It depends on your number of years of experience.
Yes.
So if you're a fresh graduate, we won't charge you the same way as that professor.
Okay.
Yes. So when they send us an email, we review the CV. Depending on the amount of work that needs to go in it, then we'll give them the charges.
Okay. All right, Shiko, what's coming in?
Hello, loving the show on career development. How can someone get those samples of a good CV?
It's the same.
How can someone get those samples of a good CV?
Same thing. They can just send you an email.
Yeah, it's the same
All
thing.
right, let's take a look at another text on WhatsApp.
Why is it important to have a CV?
Really, a CV is what you use to sell yourself out there in the job market. So you can't do it speaks on your behalf, because when you send it in advance, that is what the recruiter will look at and decide whether they'll invite you for an interview or not.
All right, next question.
I'm Daisy from Eldoret. I need that email where my CV can be reviewed.
Yeah, CV writing at corporatestaffing.co.ke.
Okay. Okay, next text.
I'm Lynette from Gong. Please send me that CV example.
I think
Yeah.
we've
They're asking the same
we've
questions.
gotten quite a number of text messages about that. Let's focus on something else. But I know just for the last time that email address is CV what?
Writing
CV
at
writing.
corporatestaffing.co.ke.
Okay, all right. Next text.
What is the best format of a CV? Over to you.
Lucy.
There really isn't a right or wrong format, as long as all the information has been captured, but in a logical and systematic way. So I wouldn't say that ours is the best.
But I remember there's a time I got a CV format from someone.
Yeah.
I was applying for a job at NTV.
Yes.
And then I went somewhere else, I was told, write this way. And then when I went somewhere else, I was told, no, this is a wrong format. Write this way. So
That's what I'm
it's kind
saying.
of a
For us,
confusion.
there's no right or wrong, as long as you're able to capture the important information.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hello, I'm a Form 4 leaver. How should my CV look like? I think the same question. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, for that in particular, they should include their high school, primary information.
Yes.
And of course, some of the extracurricular activities that you've been involved in, both in primary and high school, that you can add if you are a Form 4 leaver. All right.
Big shout out from diaspora, Steve at Nairobi Women's Hospital, Rongai. That guy's story is quite an inspiration to the youth.
All right. I think, thank you very much for that text message. That goes out to Valerie's interview. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so as your text messages keep streaming in, please remember to leave your name and let us know where you are watching us from. If you've got any questions concerning career development, we are more than happy to answer. Of course, we've got Lucy and Carol who are still here to tell us more. Now, I want to move on to the next aspect of career development, and that is social media and how that is affecting us professionally. A lot of employers seem to be very interested in people's social media profiles.
Yes.
Why?
Well, that social media is closely linked to personal branding, and I will define personal branding as what you do, how what you do create an impression of who you are.
Really?
Yes, and social media is just one aspect to that. So if you say, for example, that you are hardworking or honest or a person of integrity, yet your social media pages are full of hate speech, you're there, NASA Jubilee politics and everything. So really, you're not walking the talk. So that's why it's important to remember that whatever you do, there in personal branding, there are things that you create an impression by design or by default. So we advise that you let whatever that you do, let your personal branding be by design, not by default. So you don't want to have people having the wrong impression of you. So that's why it's very careful to know exactly what you put out there. You never know where it will land. In this day and age, we have screenshots circulating all over. So it's good that you carry yourself out professionally, whether on social media, out there, even as you have fun over the weekend. It's good to know that whatever you do, someone could be watching.
I find this very interesting, and the reason I brought up social media is because it is part of who we are now as young people. And I like how you're saying that we need to be more proactive and thinking about what you're posting and let it be actually something that you're planning, not just so when you are applying for a job and you're saying, yes, I'm very responsible, I'm a timekeeper, and then on Facebook there you are at 7 a.m. with a picture of you leaving 1824 with shisha and what
exactly.
And then when the employers are just like this, they're like, oh, okay. Because I'll tell you a personal story, even Shiko, let me let you know that there's a friend of mine who went for an interview, and as she was leaving that room, one of the panelists actually told her, okay, so thank you so much so and so for coming through for the interview. When, as you go, please let me not find anything crazy on your Instagram. My friend actually went and deactivated her Instagram account immediately.
Yeah.
Why? You know, because it actually goes to show you, it's like,
Yes.
what are they trying to see about you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It means they are trying to see you in your element, who you are as a person,
Yes.
not just who you say you are. Because as we would say, real character is what we do
Yes.
when we think no one is watching.
Ah,
And that and that goes to also with your social media.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so when it comes to, okay, rather in terms of approaching social media, what's your advice to young people on how to keep it low key, but at the same time
Not lose themselves.
not to lose themselves? Because you know, I'm sure there's someone watching it saying, but it's my page, I can do whatever I want.
Yes.
Yes.
Shiko, what
It's
do
my
you think about
page.
that?
You know, especially at this time,
Yeah.
Jubilee supporter, NASA supporter,
Yeah.
it's my life. It's me. And yes, I'm looking for a job, but I don't want to forget myself. You get? So
Yeah.
I don't know how you should go about that.
Well, social media presents a lot of opportunities for the young people because look at your circles, for example. Just imagine if they knew what you are good at and you actually portray it out there. Think about the opportunities that can come result from that. They are endless. Like I have a very young friend who is an upcoming lawyer.
Yes.
So he'll post commentaries, he'll post his standpoint in a very professional way. So what that does is whenever anyone is looking to, for example, want some legal advice,
Yeah.
they have them in mind because he has been posting things that actually resonate with his circles.
Right.
And that is part of personal branding, which we really advocate for.
All right, I like
Yes.
that personal branding.
So, like, where do we express ourselves now that we are out of social media?
You can express yourself, just be professional, because you never know who is watching, and you don't want to post things that will come back to bite you. Yes.
Very, very true.
Shiko, and people are still asking for the samples of the CV.
Yeah.
It's a big hit.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Eric from
Runyenjes,
Nyenjes, who says,
just loving the show. You're so inspiring, guys.
oh,
Thank you.
We've got one here that says, hi, speaking of career development.
Yeah, where do one start? I completed course in supply chain management last year, but I don't know where to start sending my CV. When looking for a job, just help. Yeah.
Actually, we have a database. He can send his CV. He can go to our website, corporatestaffing.co.ke.
Yeah.
It's free to put your CV on our database. And then once we get the supply chain jobs, he'll be one of the people probably we'll be calling.
Oh, wow. There's a long one here. Hello, I'm Agnes. I'm watching from Kiambu County. Recently, I joined apps like the LinkedIn to get more job opportunities. I've been getting few connections and make an effort of emailing some of these professionals, but I don't get any feedback. Since I'm a fresh graduate, my profile says I only attended JKUAT. It's challenging.
Wow.
Good question. Thank you, Agnes.
That's a hard one, but what I can advise them is that LinkedIn, for example, think about a recruiter. If I was to talk about a managing partner, he's called Paminas. He has about 8,000 connections on LinkedIn. And most of those who write to him on a daily basis, telling him, I have this degree, I have this diploma, help me find a job. But really, he's not able to help all those. But what will help you stand out is go out of your way. We usually have like free career talks. Attend those, network, create, go and give, for example, walk up to us and give us a chat, and from that there'll be something that will carry home with us about you and follow through, which is strategic networking. Don't just because if I come, for example, in the morning and my mailbox has about 1,000 emails of people looking for jobs, what is that one thing that will make me remember one person? It's how you follow through, be persistent, don't give up, network.
And we also encourage them to come to our offices.
Yes.
Sometimes a one-on-one, as she said, leaves a memorable impression. And then we are able to tackle the issues there, right there and then, instead of them having to really wait for long.
Do you have a career show coming soon?
We had one last Friday, so we are still in the process of planning for the next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here is Daisy from Eldoret. I completed campus this year. I worked during my campus life. I then applied for a job wanting a 2-year job experience. On my CV, will my work experience and education differ?
I
think you need to explain more to them.
I completed campus this year. No, actually they'll go hand in hand, because now you see, like us, the format we use, our educational background is on top, then now the work experience can now follow below, as she says she was doing it concurrently while at campus.
Okay.
Even as Chico is still going through more text messages, let's talk about also just in brief, as we're winding up, about that transition from internship to jobs. Your advice to people interning, first of all, should there be a maximum period, even by law, that someone should be interning? Number two, what is your advice to people? Because you know, when you get an internship, to some level you kind of do relax, but it's not certain that you are going to be absorbed by the system.
True.
What do you have to say about that?
Okay, for interning,
Yeah.
I would say the maximum someone should intern actually should be not more than 1 year. Then after the more than 1 year, I think now you have considerable experience.
Right.
So you can now start applying. Even as you're still interning, don't get comfortable, as you said. Continue applying for roles that you keep seeing coming up.
Right.
And then also sharpen your skills. Like, probably now you've gotten to understand the job market, what it means to work.
Yes.
And working is completely different from campus life.
Right.
So now tailor yourself for the workplace. And also now you start using, yes, we're all about networks.
Yeah.
Your networks to now get to the next level, because not every company can absorb all their interns,
Yeah.
which is true.
Do you have a high number of companies that actually pay for internship?
There are quite a number.
Oh.
Right, yeah,
Where
right.
have they been? We need to know. What?
There are quite a number that will
Yeah.
pay you to intern, because even as you're interning,
Yeah.
you're also making a contribution to the company, and
Wow.
most do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And some will even reward you for it. Well, it may not be that it will
High
not be
pay.
a high amount, but it's something to at least cater for your transportation,
Your food.
lunch, and at least good grooming.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to sample another one?
Yeah,
Go
there's
ahead.
another one here. Hello, I'm loving the show. Learning a lot in career development. The ladies look amazing. Compliment there. I'm Mesh watching from the show from Coach.
Aya, asante sana.
There's another one here. Hi guys, the show is dope. Watching the show from Naivasha.
Okay.
There's another one still. I'm Maureen watching from Kasarani. I graduated 2 years ago and yet no internship or job. How can you help me? I did a degree in geography. Geography.
Smart lady there. Geography.
I'll tell Maureen to send me an email now to my personal email for office. It's lucy@corporatestaffing.co.ke. She can send me her CV, then I'll advise.
Oh wow, thank you. There's another one here. Good morning, Y254. I'm Vitaliz from Rope from LD. Your show has motivated me. I graduated last year with a bachelor in supply chain management. Need a connection with our visitors on how to update my CV. Thanks.
Okay, he can send to cvwriting@corporatestaffing.co.ke.
Asante.
I can imagine you've got the capacity to deal with all this. In the office.
She's dealing with so many people at the
You
same
need
time.
a call center as big as Safaricom's for this. I mean, you can imagine. Look at all the texts coming in.
Yeah. Davis here. If I post on my page holding a bunch of money, will it affect?
I I think Barry Moses needs to get on set for this. Hey, Barry Moses, can you imagine? That's like Nakusumbua Davis.
He's like, or why do I need a job then?
Yeah, I know. Why do I need a job if I've got all the money? Then clearly you don't need a job, darling. You're one of the lucky people who do not need a job.
That one is funny.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Davis, for lighting up our set. Oh gosh, all right. So guys, even as we sample maybe 2 or 3 text messages towards the end of the program, let's recap what we've talked about today. And of course, you can let us know how, yet again, how we can reach you. Yeah. So we've talked about personal branding.
Yes.
That's very, very important.
Yes.
We've talked about socializing and attending things. So you think that if people can just stop complaining and do the work,
Yes.
the due diligence, you will be able to get work.
Yes, you will be, because even as you, Shiko, for example, if you're looking to employ somebody, number one, you'll be looking at the value they'll be bringing. You don't want to pay someone to not improve your life or whatever it is that you're doing. So that is the same case with employers. You need to demonstrate value. Value is what you get in return for your salary, what they get in return for paying you. So you really need to demonstrate value. Yes, that is a key thing.
All right, Lucy, what do you have to add on to that as we wrap up?
Yes, I would encourage especially the youth to just not sit back and wait for things to be handed down to them. They have to go out there and make things happen. And also, to be encouraged. Sometimes I know the job search can take a long time. People get demotivated, depressed, but I would just like to urge them to just keep at it. Yes, and eventually something.
From your experience, it's someone's attitude that determines their altitude?
Yes.
Okay, so you cannot afford to give up.
You can't.
Wow, I like that. Shiko, what do you have to say even as we're wrapping up?
I'm still waiting. There's another one here, but I'm waiting for my producer to put it on.
Okay. All right, but in general, what do you feel about this talk? I mean, even... have you been inspired? What do you feel?
Yeah, it's quite an inspiration. As in, CV writing, it's one of the things that I hope no one, my manager is not watching this. Okay, it's not really interesting to say, because it's really got so much, like this time you are told, no, this is the wrong format. Especially then, I felt so bad because someone sent the right format and then went somewhere else and told, like, really? What is this? Like, I got it. Oh no, I didn't explain that I got it from someone, but I was like, no, in CV writing, it's something, and you're quite an inspiration.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up there and just say thank you. But do keep in mind, we've talked about personal branding. Be careful about what you're posting up on social media and see how that even affects you as you enter the job market. I like what Carol had to say about that. No more kwelijana kuliendaje on your Facebook and Instagram posts. Please be proactive. That is another point that we've brought up. And of course, things like updating your CV from time to time. You've talked about 6 months. You talked about, every time you do something that's quite...
worth putting.
Worth putting. Okay, fine. Shiko, do you have anything to say as we wrap up?
No, there's nothing else. But just remember to remind my viewer that you continue sending your comments and feedback and questions to these wonderful ladies at all our social platforms at Y254 or even at our WhatsApp number, the number that is on your screen. And don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from.
Okay, all right. A big thank you to Carol Masharia and of course Lucy Mutungi, who are both from Corporate Staffing Services. If you'd like more details on that, like my co-host Shiko said, we'll be more than happy to pass those details to you. Ladies,
thank you. Thanks for having us.